Okay, I'm recording that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Um, okay, so let's. Um, I want you to tell me about the priorities that you could see. Because okay, you're paying serious money to get this experience. 4 years. Your return on investment should be 10x. You got to let's. I mean, I thought about that. You know, it's like quick number 10x. If you're investing in your education, you should benefit from it so much. So, what can we envision numbers where you're saving in operations, capex, opex, and it comes out to 10x? I would call that a metric of success. Would you agree? Or
Correct. And that's the purpose of doing the open source manufacturing. My goal would be doing the same, still be a farmer, produce foods such as blueberry. But at the moment that I want to grow the operation, or at least do maintenance, that would be very zero marginal cost. So I want to do open source manufacturing, specifically on the materials, such as the ones that come from plastic, that are
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
the what we call ground cover. That's for eliminating the need to be treating weeds. We
mm-hmm,
also use pots that are made of plastic material.
mm-hmm,
We also do a base that base supports the pot, and
mm-hmm.
inside the pot it goes. We call it a substrate, which is made of
Cover,
cocoa coir
require,
that
yeah.
acts like the soil. So we put the blueberry plant into that composition of materials.
Mm-hmm,
Then we have the irrigation systems where we do drip irrigation, and per pot, which I mean per plant, we do the irrigation very detailed.
mm-hmm.
It's every second per minute. We do like 20 seconds of irrigation and 40 seconds of non-irrigation. So we do it very precise.
Oh, that
So
precise. Really? Okay.
yes, and we have a controller that takes the access from the reservoir into the pots on the specific timing that we want to achieve it.
Yep.
So I'm telling all of this just to have very clear all the materials that we required to make happen a premium blueberry fruit that we put in the market.
Tell me about and why the materials part. Do you see yourself as a farmer or like when you see, you know, your passion? Like for me it's about open sourcing the technosphere. That's my big dream, right? What's yours? Is that related to agriculture, like blueberry, like all kinds of agriculture, or is it in other areas as well?
Number one is agriculture for sure. I want to be able to farm with less resources, and I want to be able to use the modern technologies, which they work, but the access to these technologies is not very easy for all of us in the economic perspective. So going back to my passion is finding a way to really accessing these technologies with less resources. And that's where open source comes from.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When you say not easy to access, are you talking specific Mexico or are you talking about worldwide?
Worldwide, I would say medium farmers and of course smallholder farmers as well.
Mm-hmm.
Accessing one specific technology, sometimes it requires much economics investment upfront.
Yeah, of course, of course. Let's start. So, okay, so we want to knock pots, possibly cocoa coir, the irrigation, all that. Like we're gonna try. Our goal is to okay, let's open source. Now, how much do the machines play a part? Like for example, blueberry picker or the tractor. How big is that on your priority list? What do you want to focus first? Like let's knock the potential for plastic and printing and all of that out of the ballpark first. Just focus on that for now.
I would say yes. My main focus would be recycling water. So since we're doing pots, we have a drainage, and that drainage goes directly into the soil now. I sent some pictures into the
Oh,
file that I had a visit to Peru last week, and I saw very modern farms that are doing blueberries with pots, and they have a system where the drainage, the water that goes out of the pot, it goes into that plastic form. You would see it on the pictures, and then that plastic has an underground hose that takes it back to a reservoir. So if in a day they are doing 5 liters of water per pot as an average, at least in that farm, they were doing 40% drainage. So we're talking 2 liters of water that can be recovered and put it back in that reservoir. Number one, and the focus I'm doing is arid environments, which is in the desert. We not always have enough water, so for me that would be number one priority. What if I could recover at least 40% of the total water that I'm using?
In Mexico, when people do blueberries, is it all in the desert regions with
Not
water
really.
shortage?
No, but many places, not it doesn't have to be arid regions, they have water shortages. So everyone wins with this kind of solution.
When people do commercial blueberry production in Mexico, does anyone do soil or everyone does the pots and the cocoa choir, cocoa
We'll
coir?
say right now is that transition. Before it used to be everything in soil.
Uh huh.
Right now, I would say that 80% is going into the cocoa coir.
Mm-hmm. And that's because it's more. Is it at the end of the day more productive, more cost effective?
Correct. So you use less water. You also have less diseases since you're not connected to the soil, and sometimes the soil already has some pathogens. So using a new pot with new cocoa coir, you're basically using a media that is sterile, that it doesn't have any diseases or any historic environment. So you are starting from zero. Your plant gets less diseases because of that, and you control better the water, and by that you control better the root health of your plant.
Every 7 year replacement. 7 years.
Well, if you talk with the industry experts, the one that have more years, that's when they tell you at their seventh year, they put a little more cocoa coir or they have to change the whole pot coir. That's their experience.
Has anyone done stuff like sterilizing it? Is that a thing you're looking at?
If it's gonna help me recycle, yes.
Okay, so let's take a look at it. Uh, let's go into this doc. Um, let's get the basics down. So let me share this with you. Let's. Can you do edit? You've done editing of Google Docs like collaboratively.
Yes.
Okay.
I think I made one open so you can edit whatever you need. Just
Okay.
let me make sure.
Okay. Well, let's work on this one here. Here, let me put this in the chat. Let's map out blueberries. I want to see per acre. Like let's start taking a look at it, um, and how we get there. So, chat box. Why don't you click in there?
One
Um,
moment.
so, man, the intelligences I saw it. You were like you're super high on all this stuff. How? What is your metric of comparison? Like, say you got a 7, 8, 9, 10. What's your metric? You're talking about against average, like the people you see around you. Is that how you're thinking about it?
I'm about to open the document and you're asking about this document or the one I
No,
answered and sent
the
back?
one you sent back.
Your question is how do I measure a 7, 8, or 9?
Yeah, whatever number, how you scored yourself, because you had no hint of orange or red, which is low. Know what I mean? You were like all green and super green. You were,
Probably
yeah.
I would put maybe a 5 when if I'm giving an order or an assignment, I can be effective and do it. I'm not talking about time. I'm not talking perfection. It's just here's the assignment and here's the time of delivery.
Uh
Can
huh.
I find a way to make it? That's where I put a 7, where I can make it. I'm not talking perfection or quality. It's just I made it. But I don't have a specific range of saying 3, 5, 7, 9. It's just a starting point. I wish to understand better where I'm at.
Okay, so that's in the multiple intelligences document, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. And it would take a. Do we want to delve into that? Do we want to? what's your take on this? Do you want to just delve into technical and let's talk about, okay, here's the, I mean, I'm looking at it. We've got 4 years, right? We can put resources and development time into making very specific things happen. I think, like with advanced 3D printing that could help this, and recycling of plastic that could help this. That's a very focused thing, and we can focus on that as a start and continue on that. And as we have time, we can delve into all the other aspects. But do you mind like diving right into that?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, let's dive right into it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do this. If you go into the document, so let's do an acre. Like I want to understand an acre. So we've got an acre of how many plants are we talking about?
5,100 on a hectare, and you're doing acres, correct?
Yeah, per hectare. Per 5,100 per hectare.
Yes.
Um, 5,000. How many rows you got in that? Like say you got a square. If you got a square, how many how many rows would you have across like in a square? What's their spacing?
That the spacing is 2.7 meters, and each pot in line it's zero point 0.7.
Okay, cool. Yield yield per plant. What do we got yield per plant?
Year one, it's 2 kilos. Year two, 3 kilos. Year three to 7 is 4 kilos.
So year 2 through 2, 3, 4 to 7. And what's your revenue per kilo? What's your
4
sell price?
USD,
How much?
$4 per kilo.
Is this market now? Is this international or is this Mexico?
This is Mexico in a part of the year. Sometimes goes up, sometimes stays like that.
Mm-hmm. Do you export to the States too, or no? Just Mexico?
The blueberry plant is purely for the States.
Mm-hmm. So $4 to the States in massive quantities.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. How are you picking it right now? Do you have the machines right now, or?
I'm working with a company that they have the full packing line. So I just deliver in how I harvest it. I put it in some crates, and then with the crates, I deliver it to them by a bus, which has a cold control temperature, and that's what I do. So what I'm trying here to specialize is in the part of production and harvesting, pre-cooling, and that would be the piece I want to specialize. There's also the part of the packing part, but on this specific project, I'm gonna focus on just production and harvesting, and I'm gonna use the machinery that this company I'm working with has to make the part of the packing, selection, cooling, and shipping and the exports.
Mm-hmm. Um, for the $4 sale price, let's break down how much of that is in what you just described, the pack after post harvest packing and everything else. How much does it cost you?
Well, that's after that cost. The 4 USD is as the income just as a farmer. I'm not putting the packing cost. So I would say the 4 USD as FOB, as what I get paid on the farm per kilogram delivered.
Is that And you pretty much end your operation there. After that, that's your that's it. You let it go, or do you actually interact a lot with the guys afterwards with the packing and everything and marketing? Do you do?
There, no, there's a lot of interaction. So with the company I'm working with, there's talking every day to see the qualities, the sizes I see on the farm,
Mm-hmm.
and they take it from there. But we're talking every week just to understand how's the product doing and how much volume is moving. But
Yeah.
as the focus of this optimization exercise, I'm putting for USD because that's a realistic FOB price I can get from the farm if I wouldn't do anything else in the connections I have with the commercial guys that are I'm working with.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much like your revenue, just nominal revenue there. Now, out of that, what part of that is profit? So what are your labor costs on that? And I know you've got your big spreadsheet. I wanted to just do it like by, I think, hectare or acre, so that I can kind of think about it in an easy way. Um, tell me about the cost per. I mean, out of that kilogram, what are you paying in labor and fertilizer and pots and everything? You have that? Do you have a good handle on that? Do you want to, or if you want to send me the links, we can go look at your spreadsheet again to how it looks. But that was more like for the entire operation. I wanted to take a look at more like by the kilo, like so I can understand it very clearly. That way we can break down the process in an easy way. Does that make sense or no?
It does. I'm just thinking about the way to deliver the information. Okay, I would say that it's $1 of nutrition, including the medicine we put to the plants. And what I mean by medicine, if there's a risk of having certain insect, we could put some natural like neem neem liquid into the plant so we don't get that insect. And that's what I mean by medicine included. So it's $1 per plant, and I would
Per
say
kilogram? Per kilogram or per plant?
no per plant.
Per plant.
I'm gonna paste the document here so we can see it
Yeah.
from there.
Go ahead.
And just one moment. I was transferring everything to USD, but I'm gonna finish after the call.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just one moment.
What year are you in right now with blueberries? Is it like you have? Are you in year seven? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? You've got everything, or just one year? Like how many years you got going?
I haven't scaled the project yet, so I open as a genetics validation center. I'm on year 3. I have validated 15 different genetics varieties. These are called Southern High Bush, so these require even 0 chill hours. A chill hour is considered 7 Celsius and below, 0 to 7 Celsius. So this takes an effect on the plant to be able to understand that it's time to start fruiting.
Yep.
Instead of growing as creating leaves and branches, it changed the mindset into start producing fruit, which at the end as farmers, that's what we want. We want fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's year 3. This is the year I'm gonna basically take decisions on which genetics to grow with, and the
Uh
decisions
huh.
are based on how many kilograms they produce per plant, how
Okay.
big the fruit is, how crunchy it is,
Mm-hmm.
how sweet, and that is constant through the years. If year 1 was 2 kilos, year 2 has to be 3 kilos, year 4 has to be 4 kilos, and to maintain a constant curve. That is a product that is going to ensure quality, but also volume through the years, which
Mm-hmm.
farmers will live by quality, but also volume.
Mm-hmm. How many plants did you? So in your trials, how many plants are you growing out right now?
Per variety, I'm doing at max 100.
100 per variety. So you've got a 1,500 plants, 1,500 plants.
Well, I started early. The first year, I started with 5,100, but I did one fourth of each of the varieties I started with. Then the ones that didn't work out, I took that out. And now my new policies start very small with each variety. And when they work, just grow with them. That's why I reduce the area, but I focus on more varieties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Out of the just for reference, out of your 800 acres, so you have an 800 acre or hectare?
Those are acres, and that's with my family, correct?
Out of 800 acres, how much of that is blueberry and versus everything else
No,
that you're planning to allocate?
blueberries basically point nothing. It's less than a hectare, so
Which
or
you,
acre.
hmm so you're starting that. So basically, it's start. You've got revenue coming in from all the other stuff like pecans and other things, or.
Correct. Those are mature businesses. They have more than 10 years each.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's another story. What I'm building with the blueberries, I'm starting from nothing, from zero, but I see that the potential of business, at least I myself, I want to focus on that purely for the next years.
Aha. Your family's so family business. Your parents or whoever else in your family, they're all doing this. The whole farm.
Mm, well, they're doing other crops.
They're doing other crops. So your background, I mean, you come from a farming family. That's that's the idea.
That's the reality, correct?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Okay. So starting on the blueberries. Okay. Um, how many acres would you like to get? So you want to basically, how many are you thinking like eventually in the next 4 years, let's say, or long term?
My plan is basically the 800, but of blueberries of other site. I don't mean to change anything that is happening already. I just want to relocate into a new place and put that at least on the arid environment I'm located at.
Yeah. You're planning on acquiring more land as the time goes on.
Probably, I also have this strategy to partner with people that has already wells and land and wish to explore this opportunity that could be more profitable than what they do.
Is land accessible but not water? Water is the issue, or
Right now, yes. In Sonora, at least, we're having a big crisis on water. We didn't have permits to farm last year, and this year's situation on the well, it's very similar to last year. So focusing on water reclaiming solutions or water recycling, and also doing agriculture in pots helps a lot on the volume of the situation that we have.
is water rationed? You actually have a set quantity of water that you can pump out. Is that how it works?
Correct.
What are you?
That's what's happened.
How much are you able to pump out? Like say for your acre.
It depends. Is as a farmer, you have a well, you have your ration, let's say, for the specific permit that you got at that point. But most of the farmers here in the area, we used to get our water from our well, district water, that's what we call it.
Hmm.
And that same district also have some wells that they give service to the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
But as of now, the capacity of each well is just been reducing a lot.
Hmm.
So it's not a portion that you are getting because of permit. It's a portion that we're getting because of the volume available now.
Hmm. I see. Are people allowed? I mean, is the idea there that the aquifer is being drained? I mean, that's the thing that's happening.
Yes, I think that that's the relation that we're seeing.
Are they allowing new wells to be drilled, or
No, there are no permits in the whole Mexico.
okay? So you've got a. Hmm. Have you looked any into? I mean, things like atmospheric water generation stuff. Has that ever been on your radar?
I have looked some articles, yes. As a main solution, I don't. We do have access to water with salt, not best quality. So reverse osmosis, being able to lower the cost of treat water. That could be the main solution for at least the region. What I see more approachable.
Is the water? You're saying the water underneath the land there is salty?
Yes, very much more than before.
Oh wow. Hmm. Okay. So water.
Yeah, that's the main leverage, as I wrote in the email. If we can find a way to open source the recycling of water, at least with with the pots drainage,
Hmm.
that would be a huge advantage on recycling water, of course, but also recycling nutrients and quality of
So
water. That
does my first statement would be like, I mean, haven't a bunch of people done that already, like in Mexico or elsewhere?
not that I know specifically on projects of fruit farming with pots. Peru was the first place I saw this technology applied on big scale.
Hmm. So everyone drains the water
Yes,
and just goes into the
as
ground.
that's what I know. Maybe there are some that don't, but what I have known, yes.
As a trade-off between, so your water is affordable enough that they can do that without thinking seriously about reclaiming it. Is that, I mean, economics work out so they can still produce? Yeah.
When there was water, yes, because farm water has different costs than city water.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have water districts focused specifically on farming. So yes, it was economics as of now, and recent realities, water nearly doubled, and there's not access. So in our case, we didn't farm 70% of our area because there wasn't water. There wasn't wells permit, there wasn't water access, and that happened to us and to the rest of the farmers. So it was a whole coverage situation.
Can you paste in a little map or like a link to the map? You show the map in your spreadsheet. Can you put a link into that the document working doc?
On the ones of the spreadsheet or the location where I'm at?
Um, well, the blueberry locations where they're growing.
Yes, I can do it on Google Maps if it works fine, or Google Earth.
Can you paste it into the working doc right now? So location, like if I say location, can I take a look at that? Point number
Yes,
one here. Can you do a hyperlink into that?
I can. I'm just opening here the browser and I'll do it in a moment.
Go ahead. Yep. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm gonna share the link. I just wanted to put the
Can you paste
location.
it into location?
Yes, one moment. Should be you should be able to open it by that direct link.
Okay. So I see that you jumped out of the. I don't see you in the working doc there, but if I do, let me share my screen so that you see what I'm looking at here. Entire screen. So okay, here we go. Okay. Because location, I was just gonna paste that in there.
That's where I have the research center for blueberries. I recently moved from the conventional place where we have the rest of the farms. But if you, as you're doing, scroll away, maybe
Uh,
you get a little closer, you will see that land here is big, available, is very squared, leveled, and we have irrigation canals. It's just the water situation right now that is hurting the farming community and society alike, since we depend a lot on agriculture, at least in Sonora, in Mexico. Agriculture and mines, I would say that those are the biggest economies.
Mines? What kind of mines?
Yes,
What kind?
not real, not really sure about the mineral, all the minerals. I know that the main ones are copper.
Uh huh. So, like all this land here, that's some of this for sale here, or like you're saying there's plenty of land, like you're talking about land like here or more somewhere away or
Yes, I would say around there,
around there?
there's land.
Uh
It's
huh.
just water availability, or at least a system to manage and recycle water that
Mm-hmm.
would solve a lot of the issues, and also the capacity to get more economic land and be able to make it happen with less money and less water.
These canals, is that fresh water?
Yes, that water used to come from the dam, from the big reservoir from the city, but right now it's kind of dry, less than 10%.
When we say dam, where's that dam? Okay,
If
we
you
have it on
go more
Google.
to the north, up in your screen,
Mm-hmm. Oh, is that where we got it? Right here?
just go a little more up on your screen
Okay.
of the maps.
That's a man-made lake? That's fresh water?
Correct. Yes,
That thing is drying up? Is that what?
correct.
Ah,
It's been dry since last year,
like it doesn't
almost.
look like this anymore.
No, it has about less than 10%.
So this map is a couple of years old or something, or
Probably from the company Google.
yeah. How much is land around here?
Right now, because of the situation, you can find about even on 15,000 USD per hectare.
One 5,000, 15,000 USD per hectare.
Yeah, it would be around 300,000 Mexican pesos per hectare.
Okay, so the location, as far as the your acre for this, where is that right there? That's your this is your part of your farm here, or
The validation center, correct.
mm-hmm.
It's right there.
Validation center. Where can I see the actual blueberries growing here, or
No, I don't think it's not recently
uh huh.
the picture, so you're not gonna see the installation. But I can
Okay.
send you pictures.
Um, Tell me more. Is this so? Is this like this is the validation center? It's a thing you started that's on your land, on your farm.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And your land here, it's like all this area around here. Like, let's see what we got for scale. I can't see the scale. 500.
It's part, of course, not all. We're very far from Earth on this view.
That's separate from your main farm, or right?
Yes, correct.
Uh huh.
That's separate. The main farm is about maybe 40 minutes, but it's if we're able to solve here the manufacturing part and the recycling of water, that's gonna work for the rest of the farms,
Uh
which are
huh.
very close by.
Is that pen like just some random place, or is that something specific?
That pen is where the specific validation center of blueberries
Mm-hmm.
is at now.
Okay. Okay. So you cleared some of this to you cleared it to open it up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. Okay. So that's the situation there. Wow. Uh huh. And What did you find out regarding the, from Peru? Do they have a solution you can copy?
Yes, the recycling of water.
And so what the idea is? Do they dig? What's the solution? Dig a reservoir like on one end or somewhere? Tell me
Can
more about.
we open the pictures here?
Yep, go
Maybe
ahead.
that way the best example.
Okay, pictures.
I sent them through the email. Just let me put it in the chat, and we can start from there the explanation, which is a very basic one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the spreadsheet. On the email, I also sent some cloud link where we can access the pictures and videos that I saw over there. I will put it back on the chat.
Mm-hmm. Um, in the chat, you're putting it in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. I saw a video of you. Well, at least on a website that you sent. Do you have those black pots I saw on the websites?
Yes, I do. I'm not using those anymore. I'm gonna stay with the white ones, I think, with the white bags,
The
because
ones.
they're more cost effective. They cost less, and regarding production of the black pots versus the white bags, I saw the same production and quality of the fruit.
These white ones, like here.
No, that's those are bee houses for pollination of the blueberries.
Oh yeah. Let's go through these. Oh yeah. Um, these pots here. Is that something just like a? Is that a commercial product thing too?
Which specifically?
Oh, the pot itself, the round pot.
Where are you showing it on the
Yeah,
share
I'm
screen?
sharing. I'm sharing the screen. So is that coming through there?
Well, I
Oh,
see the screen,
show my.
but with a picture of the bees
Okay,
of
how
the bees
about?
box.
Do you see this?
Yes, that's a picture of the plant as well, but I want to show the cocoa coir. So they took the plant outside of the pot that you see just below.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's upside or backwards.
Oh, okay, I see.
And up in here in the center, you can see the cocoa coir. That's how it shows after 2 years of being inside the pot. And you can see the form, the how humid it is. That's just for reference when I'm explaining the materials to have a clear visual example.
That's not your thing, right? That video is not your farm, right? Because you don't have that many plants, right?
No, that's on Peru, but on the screen I couldn't see the video. There are two pictures of the recycling water system. Maybe you could open those so you can have a clear idea what I'm thinking about to
Mm-hmm.
adapt it to Mexico.
This.
The screen on my side, I just tilted the cocoa coir.
Yeah, it's not sharing it properly. Let me see. Um, let's close that one. Let's close that one.
I can share if you want me.
Why don't you share and show me? Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna share the entire screen.
Yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
So going to the pictures, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. I'm opening the water recycling image. So
Okay.
as you can see here, what they do,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is a different system since they're putting double line pots. What they do in this farm in Peru is they put pots even closer to each other,
Mm-hmm.
and they have some efficiencies there because they harvest with people, and people is more effective harvesting closer pots.
Mm.
That's one of the reasons they're doing this. But going back into the strategy of water recycling, as we can see here, there's this plastic surface
Mm-hmm.
that they put in line for the whole line of production. So when these pots are being watered, the drainage, the water goes into this plastic canal, if we can call it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And this plastic canal has certain surfaces where they extract the water below. Below, if we go here under the earth, there are some pipes that they have so the orientation or the gravity to go
Mm-hmm.
to a reservoir where they reclaim the water.
How big is the
Is it
reservoir? Is it a lined pond, so they have pond liner?
correct? It's very big. I'm talking about millions and millions of liters of water daily of what they hold. I'm gonna open the other picture, which I think it's gonna explain a little more clear since I took it from the site. So we can see in this picture that right here is the design they made just to
Mm-hmm.
hold the water drainage from the pots. So here the challenges in my perspective is how to how to be in accordance to gravity to
Yep.
be able to take the water from the surface and put it back into the reservoir. That could be made with pumps, that could be made with leveling at some point. It's
Mm-hmm.
just finding the best strategy for the area I'm located at. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be the system that I see the most interesting to leverage in order to be able to grow with enough water.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you contact like the suppliers of the pots or any other irrigation supply, they don't
Yes.
they don't know about this kind of recycling, water recycling stuff. Do they have designs, reference designs, or?
No, not now. It's not that they don't know, it's just not their focus. They have never been able to or been needed to make
Yeah.
this as part of their supply.
Okay.
So the answer is no.
Okay. What other pictures do you want to show me there?
When I talk about proprietary genetics, is
Yeah.
basically the plus they have is most of the fruit, I'm talking about 80% or more, goes into jumbo categories.
Wow.
What I mean by this, they are at least 20 millimeters and more, and they are crunchy, they are sweet. There's a measure called bricks, which is the ratio of sugar and acid, and these have more than 13 bricks, which is a very sweet fruit. So that's the reason why farmers like me are focused on finding the best genetics, and some of those are proprietary because they have more than 10 years of different testings that they've been adapting to make this happen. This is an example of how the fruit looks in part of the
Yeah.
bush, how it grows from green to red
Yep.
to blue, just as an example. And we already saw the picture of the blueberry outside of the pot. This is a video on the email. We were talking about drones and the possibility to apply foliars with drones. But I see on this kind of design that also tractors are a very good answer to do it.
Mm-hmm. What is the foliar spray like? Is it nutrition? Is it disease?
Yeah, it's nutrition. And at that farm we were, it's in the middle of the desert. So Sometimes they have to spray a little bit before harvest just to take out some of the sand.
Some of the what?
Of the sand,
Take out
Th- they
sand?
are they are close to the beach, so there's some sand flying out.
Oh. What are
Mm,
they spraying with? Is it water? Just.
water, correct.
Mm-hmm.
On that case,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they spray with nutrients, or sometimes to protect against diseases
Mm-hmm.
or insects. This picture we're seeing here is
Mm-hmm.
part of the irrigation system.
Mm-hmm.
This has nothing to do with the recycling, it's just with the usage and the treatment that they put into the water to have precise fertilization when they do drip irrigation. Is the software, and they have the different tanks where they have different solutions
Mm-hmm.
such as nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and sometimes microelements. They also have tanks that they regulate the pH and the EC, the electric conductivity, and they use most of the time sulfur to regulate, let's say, if the water is on pH 7 and
Mm-hmm.
blueberries thrive on pH 5, they put an amount of sulfur to the water to put it on the right pH, which would be 5. So this is just the software that controls most of the systems that make happen the water quality to be on its point. This video I'm going to show here is of the water injectors just in the work.
Hmm. Water injectors into what, the actual drip lines? Injection of the
Yes,
various
so
chemicals into the drip lines.
correct. These are like the main operation center where water that's already on its pH, it's injected and then put it
Okay. And you don't
into
have
the
that here,
lines
right?
that go. No, my center is pure validation center. As of now, I'm in the perfect place to start building from nothing.
Ah, okay. So you want to open source all these systems?
Correct. That's my hope.
How much is that system? Like the one that, like, so what did they, if they wanted to install this system for you, what would they charge you?
I would say at least 50,000 USD
50,000
to
USD. How
start.
big are in those the tanks? So it's the ability to show me the picture again.
Of which specifically?
The one with the tanks.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. So how many different chemicals do they have? Like you have about what, 8 different substances that you're feeding into the water. So this is effectively hydroponic, right? Like you're talking about hydroponic blueberries, effectively grown in coir. How do you say that?
Yeah.
Coir.
Yeah, you got it. I think you have better accent than me. So Coir should be.
Coir.
Um, I'm not sure if I call hydroponics since we don't recycle the water. I understand hydroponics is a constant recycling loop of
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
but we can make it hydroponics after this.
Well, that's what you're
Yeah.
implying here. Yeah. With the water
Yeah.
recycling. Yeah.
And your question is, I would say at max 5, as we took the main macros, the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, here the micros, so microelements. And I would say this we're seeing here at the left tank, it's where they manage the sulfur, which they use to lower the pH.
So you got NPK, micronutrients, and S.
Yes, on this system, yes, but what we're not seeing on the picture is they also have a reverse osmosis plant, which they treated on other place. I didn't get the picture, but that would be the whole water system that I wish to open source. And by
Ah.
open source, I want to make it cost effective.
Yeah. 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 And then the reverse osmosis for the salt.
Yes,
Okay.
in general, it's not just blueberries. Most of the water here on the valley it's getting very salty and it's affecting the productivity of the crops, and that's affecting the profit and health of the farmers.
Is reverse osmosis the ideal way to do that, or what about distillation?
It depends on the purity that you want to achieve in the water. So there are filters, of course, of different zeolite, and I can remember the other minerals that are applied, but that doesn't take much of the salts, and the salts affect the electric conductivity,
Mm-hmm.
and that affects how the plant absorbs everything that we're doing. So if we have salty water, even if we have water, we're really losing much of the efficiency of each liter because it's that salty that the water is not able to absorb it, neither the whole water, neither the whole nutrients. That's on the overall what I understand. I'm not an expert on this, but I see the effect as a farmer when it's salty water, bad results.
Okay, osmosis versus distillation. Is osmosis the most cost-effective solution? Do you need now? Would distillation get you more pure water than osmosis, reverse osmosis, or which is more pure?
As of now, I don't have the specific answer. What I see is the industry using reverse osmosis. That must be something directly to cost and how effective it is.
Did you ever ask ChatGPT? Is reverse osmosis more cost-effective?
No, I haven't. That specific question.
I'm just like the first thing because you always hear about distillation plants. I thought everything was distillation. Then
No, not in farms. In
not
farms,
in
it's
farms.
reverse osmosis.
Uh huh. So reverse osmosis uses 2 to 5 times less energy than distillation. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It's much more energy efficient than our desalin. I'm asking there.
I'm gonna stop sharing because I think we did
Okay.
most of the content. I do have more pictures,
Oh.
but I want to start with some.
Okay, I get it. It was my impression for some reason that desalination was typically done with evaporation, those kinds of methods. But no, no, it's all reverse osmosis. So yeah, okay, yeah. Um, have you looked at the costs of reverse osmosis setups, like for agriculture skill? What is the
Yes.
cost of those? What are those costs? Like say
Mhm.
for
The initial
uh,
cost?
yeah, yeah, say for like I don't know, what do you do? Like 1,000 cubic meters per day? How do they?
30,000 USD. That would be the initial cost to get a reverse osmosis plant, including the filters and the installation. That's at least in my area.
Um,
But on CS,
are we talking about 1,000 cubic meter per day, or what scale are we talking about?
yes, that's the average. But I would have to see the specific data. I don't want to tell you yes because I'm not 100% sure.
Um, now we can take a look at. I guess. Can you send me? Can you put in a link into the doc? Okay, in a doc, you know you can edit that doc, right?
Yes,
So can you put in so example device example? Can you hyperlink that?
to to any doc that we're going to work with.
The one. Okay, so I'm at the blueberries doc. Um, here, entire screen. See where I'm at here in the
Yes,
blueberries doc. I put the example right there. Um, can you hyperlink that?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, you want me to put it in the chat that we're at now?
No, I want you to. Here's lesson number one for hyperlinking. Double click on example, and hit that thing up in a insert link thing. You see where I have it on my screen?
Yes.
Insert that link in there. So, are you ready to start propagating the successful varieties right now? Like, what phase exactly are you? Well, I'm gonna wait for you to paste it in. Can you do that?
But this specific information, do you want me to make it a hyperlink on where? That's what I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
lost.
Do you see where I double clicked on example?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you put it in there? Hyperlink that.
But you want me to hyperlink this and put it where?
No, I want you. So here's no. So double click on examples. I want you to make the example so I can click on it. So because we're doing it. So this is a lesson 101 in editing docs. But double click on that example, and then use
Yes.
that insert insert hyperlink thing. Yeah, yeah. There you go. And do that button for insert hyperlink.
I did.
Um, I don't. You did. I should be able to see it. I see you. After you select that. So okay. So simple process. If you see my screen, can you see my screen?
Yes,
Okay.
I can.
Okay. So if I double click on example, I click this, and then you have to paste it into there, and that will, like whatever you do, and then apply. And it'll hyperlink it. But I just typed in nothing. So you see what I'm saying?
I see
And
the selection. I see the part of clicking, opening the menu, finding the link. Then I press it.
yeah, press that insert link, and then it will allow you to paste that link into. It says or just paste that thing into chat box, and I'll show you. Just paste it in the chat box if you want. Okay. No, I'm asking you for the link to that sample $30,000 machine. Is there a website that someone has?
Sorry, I was very confused. So you're asking for that specific information. I
Yeah, I
thought you
was.
were trying me to copy and paste and
Uh,
put a hyperlink in there, and I was very confused.
okay, okay. Yeah, ask. I want the hyperlink for that machine, the $30,000 reverse osmosis machine. I want to take a look at what it is
Yes, one. I'll
because
put it.
because you know, like open source means 10x typically. So probably if we buy the materials and 3D print our casings and fittings, and we're gonna make it for $3,000. Let's do that. How about that for our first project? I'd like a
Yes.
reverse osmosis machine. Um,
Mhm.
in fact, for the home closed loop water system, hey, we're gonna be doing all this stuff. Closed loop water system within a home.
Got it. Pure Tech Water is one of the companies that we have here.
Okay. So I'm gonna. Okay, you did that. Here, let me. I'm gonna Control X on that. I'm gonna double click on that, edit it, and now I'm gonna put the HTTP in there. Apply.
Okay.
Okay. Examples. Now I click on it. Okay. Reverse osmosis, the basic pure text. So, um, is there a specific product on this page, like that $30,000 machine? Is that?
Yes, there is.
They talk about the system now. Do they have any specific page where they talk about that particular product, like commercial RO systems, like something
I'm
like
looking
this?
for it.
Is this? Let me see if I can share my screen here. Why is my? Um, this stuff is weird here. Let's see. If you look at my screen, do
Yes,
you see this? Do you see this machine here? Yeah. Yeah, right?
that's one of those, correct?
Okay, so is this one, this one's about 1,000 cubic meters per day? Is that what would you say? Or,
Not sure about it, but what I can do is
yeah.
I can find the exact information and put it in the document, and we can work it from there. As on the website, I'm not really sure where to find it.
Okay. Now, so you already contacted them for a quote?
Yes, I have a code.
Okay. Would you be able to like in this document, would you be able to make new pages and um, like add some of that information in there? Because you've seen me do these documents where it's like I just open up new pages and things like that. You can do that. Can you start pumping in that information into this document?
Yes, I will do that for sure.
Okay. Okay. So um, with this one, I'm gonna just copy and paste that one. All right. Yeah. Um, copy. I'm gonna go in there and so now we can start. I mean, this is the. Did you look at the page called Dev on the wiki?
I did.
Doesn't make any sense. Open source product development. So you're going to become a development ninja by the time we're done. But how does the development process work? So breakdown, like part breakdown. If we're serious about open sourcing this, then we're going to have to say, okay, what are all the different parts, and then start specifying them. I would see. I mean, if it's metal pipe or plastic, I don't know. The expensive part is going to be the actual medium. Those filters are plastics. They're right. They're plastic, high performance plastic things that basically. The way I read about osmosis is that it's actually dissolving the water within that plastic. It actually flows through it, right?
Yes,
So that part we can't make that right now. We don't have the chemical plant. That's advanced chemistry, but we can buy that. So our so to solve this from first principles, we're going to ask, okay, how much is that medium? Because beyond that medium, you've got flow through that, but then you've got wash of all the stuff that gets settled on one side of the medium, right? Is that how you understand it? So it's got wash. There's a wash cycle that reverse osmosis only passes through a little bit of the water, but most of it is thrown out or reused. You know that, right?
correct.
Yeah,
And I think 80% at max it what has
yeah.
been achieved to be used to be able to use for plants. 20% just goes out because it's all the salt, all the heavy water.
Uh-huh. And that's less than human, because human is more like they take only 10% and throw out 90%. Is that how it works?
I'm not sure on the human
Okay.
side, but on the reverse osmosis, it's 80%
Yeah.
can go to the plant, 20% it's too salty. It's the flush away water.
Mm-hmm. Flush water, yeah. Yeah. And these ones, like for Puretech, are they doing for these specifically for agriculture? Or this is for any purpose.
It's for any purpose, but as of now, it's for agriculture to focus.
Mm-hmm. The company does all Well, you're saying Puretech is agriculture focused, or
No,
Puretech is
it's in
everything focused?
industry focused.
Okay.
Now agriculture is becoming popular to
Mm-hmm.
acquire some.
Yep. Okay. Um, where are the priorities? So, can we go to slide number 2 and say, or let's say priorities? So there's various things we can do. What do we want to focus on first? Do you want to try to print the
Yeah.
pots?
Okay.
Um, I heard water recycling using common off-the-shelf parts. Do you want to do that? Where does that fit?
Yeah, I put water recycling and reverse osmosis. That would be,
So assume we buy the pots.
if we talk about capital investment, I would say pots, it's a big one. Bases of the pots,
Okay, the current pot, how much is it per pot?
it's about 1.5 USD.
How many gallons? 7 gallon.
That's a 7 gallon pot.
And it's pretty thin, just like a regular nursery pot. It's kind of like that, same kind of thing. It's not super thick or
It's a nursery pot.
nursery pot. Um, let's see this document here. You had links to all of that, right?
Yes.
So, for example,
On the document, I'm putting everything on USD. I will also do priority on which one has the highest capex, and I'm gonna go from highest to lowest. So we have the where to start from,
yeah,
reducing the cost.
yep. So, for example, if I click on these pots here, like,
You go exactly to the pots I'm using, at least the brand.
right. So send me like direct links, like like very specific ones, so we can study those.
The open top back, that's what I decided to use after validation.
No,
I
no,
use
one of these are not.
just no below. Those are the bases.
Okay, these are the bases.
Yeah, that's the ground cover as well. It's basically
Geotextile.
a geotextile taken off, so there's no weeds coming out. So you put it as a floor, and the back is on, I think, on the upper side. It's a white back. I will send you the direct links to the
Yes,
product.
send some very direct links. Wait a second. Why do you need ground cover if you got no water there? Is there still weeds?
Yes,
Okay.
every now and then
Yeah.
there could be a different use, maybe not the whole area of ground cover, but honestly, the process with ground cover it's much more effective on not having to be worried about applying herbicides, which on the health approach, herbicides are one of the most affecting human health. Some of those.
Are these organic that you're growing?
No, my plan is not doing organic. It's just doing free from stuff that we don't want on humans, like insecticides. I would say herbicides. Those two are the two main categories that I take care that the products I use. They are organic, most of those.
How are you doing insecticide with natural means or more benign?
I would say it's neem, one of the main, yeah, one of the main ingredients. Also, we have programs with microorganism. So we apply in a foliar way
BT?
certain, I don't know the name in English, being honest.
Bacillus
Well,
thuringiensis?
that's one of the groups that are included into the applications we do.
So we said dollar and chemicals. Does that include everything, including neem and nutrition?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Tell me more. We're kind of skipping a little around a little bit. But what's the water cost per plant per? Okay, tell me about harvest. I need to get clear. Harvest is one time per year, right? Or is it no?
No, no, yes, it's one time per year, but the thing I was like analyzing is not just like you go on day one and on day one you take everything. It has a percentage of ready to harvest fruit per week. So as as an overall example, it takes about 8 weeks and it matures ready to harvest about 14% to 12% per week. If you have 5 kilos, you're going to take part of those 5 kilos per plant. Each week, 12% are going to be ready for harvest, which it means with the right color, size, and that's the ready to harvest. You can do it by labor with persons, or you can do it with the machinery I sent a video with, which, as you answered, it's basically wind and some conveyor bands, the
Mm,
main activities that the machine does. But one thing to take into account is that when a blueberry is ready to harvest, is not that attached to the stem. So the part of the air has to be managed with enough force, but not too much, just to take off the bush. The blueberry that's not that strongly into the stem. That's the function.
yeah. Um, if you just like, how much force is that? Is it like when you touch it pretty gently, it comes off pretty easily, while the green ones stay, right? Or no? I mean, it's you got to do some force. It's not it just doesn't come off when you touch it. It still stays, right?
Yeah, you gotta do some force. It depends on the variety, of course, but in
Hmm.
general, you have to put some force. The fruit that just takes off the stem as easy is not a good fruit for the farmer, since they're gonna, with any wind, they can be out of the stem and into the soil.
Explain that part. You don't want the stem because.
You don't want the stem attached to the fruit be too soft, because if that happens with any movement of the bush, the fruit is gonna take off to the soil. So you need an intermediate.
And there's varieties that are super loose and super hard. Yeah.
There are some which I'm not choosing to keep moving forward for the next round. I'm going to stay with varieties that have big fruit and the stem part for the harvest, it's intermediate, not too
Hmm.
hard, not too soft, which are going to be specifically easy for machine harvesting with this methodology.
Okay. Okay. Um, water cost per plant per year.
I would have to analyze the document and get back to you. We know how many liters we do per plant per week or per day, but based on the new reverse osmosis filtration system, I have to add some cents per liter cost, and that's going to give us a really realistic cost per
Hmm.
water liter.
So, can you state for the $4 USD FOB? Do you know what part of that is water? You said $1 is chemicals.
Not now specifically.
Not
I
now.
would say at least one USD for sure.
At least
But
one.
but let me look at the document and it's gonna be open and we can see it from there.
So at least $1 per kilogram.
No, I feel that's too much.
That's too
Uh,
much. That's way. Yeah.
yes,
Um, what's your labor per kilogram?
not sure now.
Not sure. I think um, if I'm thinking about per plant, it's easy to say, okay, you've got 5,000 plants per hectare or so. Do you agree that breaking this down to per kilogram is useful? or no?
Very much, because at
Let's
the
do
end
it.
the income comes
Yeah,
from a kilogram, not
yeah,
from anything else.
yeah. It doesn't matter. So let's convert everything to per kilogram cost, and that way we can make really good decisions on what to optimize. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
One
Um,
thing is time regarding volume. First year is 2 kilograms, second year is 3 kilograms, third year to the seventh is 4 kilograms in average. That's very doable. So that's gonna be the pattern in the cost. There's gonna be improving in lowering the cost per year, since we're gonna have more volume on mostly the same cost.
yes. Uh, what do you do at year 7? You throw out the plant?
Supposedly, yes. And the reason why is year seven, because it's structured to give at least 4 kilograms that are 22 millimeters and a quality premium that pays more in the market. That's when you choose to say, if in the seventh year you're still okay, eighth year you're still okay, well, you leave the plant. The plant has capacity for at least 10 years or more. But I put seven because the market of varieties is always delivering better varieties that could give you more volume, more size, better qualities at all. And that's where you replace, because if a new variety is going to give you first year 3 kilos, second year 4 kilos, third year to seventh, as an example, 6 kilos, when you do the analysis of the economics of doing the change of variety, it makes sense. That's where I put the 7 years frame. But if you keep the same plant with the same cost and systems, 8 year, 9 and 10th, with the qualities that give you business, there is no reason to change the whole plant structure. What you might change, maybe put a little more coco coir, because on the pot, maybe, not maybe, because of the years and the irrigation, the coco coir is going to start lowering and lowering. And at the end, you want to put that buffer so you have enough coir to create that irrigation structure for your root. That's the
Yeah.
point of putting your coir, to create a soil structure that has better filtration and is not connected to any diseases that the soil might share when you're at the soil.
Oh wow. So is that such a big deal? Like if you it, what's the reason for not growing in soil? Because it does not grow as fast in soil, or is it more about disease?
Both have some effect, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is, in the case of blueberries, that you need a pH of 5. So our
Oh yeah.
soils, we have about 7.5. And that's the main reason. If we put it on the soil, we have to make a big investment on changing the chemical structure of the soil and put it back into 5. That's the
Wow.
main. But
Okay.
diseases and also the speed of reproduction is much faster on a pot in coco coir or other media than put it on the soil. And
Yeah.
also the usage of water and precision, most of all, doing per plant, per liter, being able to measure the drainage, how much water you're putting, how much water is taking the plant, and how much you're wasting to drainage. That's full precision saying how I'm treating the plant to perform.
Okay. That makes sense. I've done some. I mean, we've done aquaponics, hydroponics, but yeah, the growth rate is different. Um, and how much does the coir cost per plant for a pot?
Yeah, yeah. Per pot, we're talking 8 gallon pot would be around 2 USD.
Mm-hmm.
If we buy the international, which comes from other places, not Mexico in our case, and 1 USD if we do the national.
Does the national supply run dry? There's not enough of it.
No, I don't think so. The main thing why people choose is international is because of the process that they make it more. refined. I mean, the national, sometimes when you see the cocoa core, you can see big pieces of coconut.
Yeah,
They don't pulverize it enough. And the international is more structured, the approach where you see more homogeneous
I see.
matter.
Do you
But
have?
I have tried both, and both work really fine. No difference on my farm, at least.
Oh, okay. So do you go with Mexican all the time then?
When scaling, I will
Yeah.
go with national. National in Mexico. If I would be in other place, I would do national too. I don't need that much refinement.
Okay. Okay.
It's just the structure of the refinement of the cocoa core. In our case, they call it national, the one that is that structure polarized. But at the end is you will pay more if you want it more refined, the pieces of it.
So you're paying $1 per plant in Coyer.
For 8 gallons of coir. Correct.
Okay, so that's manageable. Um, when you think about the capex, I mean, it just the numbers add up per hectare. And what are your goals, scaling goals in terms of numbers and acreage? Do you have a rough idea how many acres by next year and so forth? With let's talk about the next 4 years.
When able to open source and really reduce the cost of main materials would be scale 120, scale 2 to 100, and scale 3 to another 100. I'm talking about a 200 hectare farm specialized in blueberry production with open source materials. That's the approach, the project number one. And if that works, there would be enough economic flow to be able to keep scaling as the market needs. I don't want to oversupply anything if it doesn't need to, but at least 200 that has space in the market, and especially on the Mexican window, which we at least here us at the north, February and March. It's a very strategic for the global supply chain. The Latin America doesn't have, and I mean Peru and Chile. United States hasn't started yet. United States starts about late March, April with Florida, and then it starts the big supply on May to, I would say, August. So it's a
Yeah.
very strategic point for the global supply chain to have fresh blueberry. My goal to make it more economic accessible to scale, less capex with the open source
Do
manufacturing of materials.
your
Yes,
season, your schedule for the season? You're saying it's off the U.S. market, for example. Like, were you making a point that your timing is different, so you have a strategy there?
correct. Because of the climate
Hmm.
and the kind of varieties we use,
Hmm.
we always focus on being off season. We don't want to compete with United States since we're going into their market. We want to be their partners, not their competitors, at least on the supply side.
And off season means what months is your harvest?
For us in Mexico, it's been able to achieve it since January until late March.
January to March.
We can do
When do you
April as well.
when do you have the chill hours?
At the same time, regarding December and January, what we do, we got the harvest on February, March, and a little of April at max because we're in the north part. But in the center of Mexico, I'm talking Jalisco, Michoacan mainly. That's why they work with zero chill hours because they don't need chill hours to start producing. And that's how they got that supply of months or weeks from January and February because their varieties don't need chill hours.
And yours, explain how. I mean, I would assume that January is the coldest month. Yours do need it. How do you have them fruiting the same time that you got them resting for chill hours? Wait,
They
that
don't,
time happens at the same time?
correct. These varieties are called evergreen, so they don't need a dormant phase. Basically, they are constantly making the process they need to be making based on how the plants were treated on a pruning side. So if we prune them and then we start growing the plants and creating their vegetative part, and then when certain amounts of weeks pass, the plants, we could try to change it naturally, or we could add certain hormone. So plants have this idea that it's time to fruit. Even if they don't have the chill hours, that's how most of the evergreen cultivars are managed to be able to create a structure to supply on certain months.
Okay, I see. So the way you do it, so they're evergreen, and then does that mean that like when you want them to fruit, you give them the hormones? Or
Yes,
and that's your practice there.
that's the practice, correct.
What do you give them? What is that hormone?
Mm, Cytokinin, it's in English.
Cytokinin. Let me see what that's about.
It's helped them to start flowering.
Ah,
From the flower comes the fruit, and that's what we do.
huh. So you give them synthetic cytokinin. That's
There's
given.
natural ones
Are
and
you
there's
giving
synthetic.
natural or synthetic?
We do a combination. We do two applications. The first one is natural, and the other one that's like synthetic.
Huh. Where do they
What?
get them for the natural ones? What plant do they get them out of?
No idea. As of now, I go with the supplier,
Yeah.
and I choose
Huh.
from the availability.
Yeah.
One is
Yeah.
faster than the other one. That's why we make a mix. Of course, natural ones might have a more profound impact on the plant structure, but always
Yeah.
synthetic. They're very precise and
Yeah.
do have results.
Okay. Um, what's your rough idea on the idea of let's see if we do pots and bases. Is the idea so if we're paying like $1.50 a pot, how much are the bases also?
Same. Let's put 1 USD
Mm-hmm.
per pot, about 22 Mexican pesos. So that's a relation. I will recheck and define back here on the document to the
Mm-hmm.
real cost in USD.
Okay. When you're gonna get this off the ground, so what is your current plan? Are you thinking about doing something like an acre or something, or pretty soon, like more production grade? So you're taking the ones that are working and you propagate those or get more of those. Is that your plan, or what is your plan?
On the varieties, will be identifying the ones I'm gonna grow with
Mm-hmm.
by volume, by premium qualities, and I'm gonna start scaling those. I think at max two different varieties. I don't want to overcomplicate that part.
Mm-hmm.
And then after choosing the varieties, I send those to propagate with a nursery, which are specialized nurseries for those specific proprietary varieties.
Is that um, the in vitro plant tissue?
That's basically what they do.
I see. I see. Is the company like so? The company allows you. They charge you per how many you make of that, basically.
Per plant, correct. They don't charge for a license, at least with the company I'm planning to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But the nursery charge per plant.
And you can give them whatever genetics to propagate.
They mostly have it because
Oh,
I
they
source
have.
them from them. So they have the mother plants really taken care of. And when a shipment is needed, they have the whole system to propagate that specific plant because even each plant has a different reaction on the nursery laboratory. Some are easier to propagate than other ones, and they have
Yeah.
specific systems for each.
Okay. Hmm. What's your timeline and like so when you plan this out? So what is your plan? I mean, is it you're getting the materials, which is irrigation system, reverse osmosis, pots, plant, all of the supplies and all that. Was your idea to start purchasing all of that? Like when? What is your time? What kind of timeline are you on?
Right now, I have the research center working. I have all of those details. I have the pots, the bases, the irrigation system, the programmer. I have a bird net
Mm-hmm.
to cover the whole part because birds are the worst client of the world. They just come and pick berries and leave them those. So it's a big loss with
Mm-hmm.
birds. I need to apply that technology as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the research, it's already in validation. I will have the final results on at least April, and from April, I plan to scale.
Mm-hmm.
When is going to be the scale? It's very dependent on the open sourcing manufacturing that we can achieve. Because if I can scale with less money, that's going to be more effective with each investment I make.
Okay, so by April we want to have some solutions for open source manufacturing of any of these pots or anything or bases. That's what we're
Ver-
talking about.
Very much. I mean, the plantation is not going to be in April. I think it's going to be by in about a year in September. But April having defined solutions and by that having defined cost structures to make it happen
Okay.
would be amazing.
Okay. So let's take a look at um, next step would be let's go through the per plant, the all those economics, what the costs are, and do you have like a rough diagram of the whole system? Like if you've got that acre for the trials, you're gonna do what another acre? Like how many when you scale? What acreage are you talking about now?
20 hectares first scale
20 hectares that you're aiming to plant out by about September.
in a year. Yes.
By September in a year. Let's put that on the slide. Timelines. One year. Now, does the 20 hectares, that's depends on what if we don't do open source? What if we have typical cost structure? What's your range? Is 20 hectares the thing with open source or without it?
It's without it as of now. What I have talked with financing people, specifically banks, home savings, and I'm talking with some capital funds as
Mm-hmm.
a resource as well. If you have any idea about the financing part, I would be happy to see other options as well.
Mm-hmm. What are the typical financing kind of terms? Like so it's just loans and stuff, or
Yes,
mm-hmm. What kind of percent interest do they charge?
12 about 12%.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in conversation with different banks, and I will put that in the document just to have a reference of different financing options.
Mm-hmm. And with the 20 hectares, that means water from the system you'd like to implement. You'd like to implement the water recycling
For sure.
for
I wouldn't
sure.
like to scale without that, because that's the biggest thing to have secure water and good water. I mean, having a well is good, but if you're going to have a salty well, that's not going to work very much. So
Mm-hmm.
the water recycling part, the water treatment part, which is reverse osmosis, and also have the maybe one machinery for earthworks and be able to do a big reservoir to hold the water. For me, that would be a good combo to make the project happen. I know this maybe is not the biggest capex details in the document we will see, but if being able to have this is doing quality assurance of what the project needs the most to have the results for having the structure income in kilos.
Yep. Okay, sorry. Um, treatment recycling reservoir. What's the size of the reservoir for 20? Is that like a my guess is like a half a hectare pond.
Probably, I have one with my family, a reservoir that we use with the pecans. I will get the data and we can start from there, from the cost that we got on the suppliers, materials, and size of holding water liters, if it makes sense.
Yep. You need to build a new one. The existing one won't do.
No, no, that's far away.
Hmm.
And every project, I believe, has to have its own reservoir.
Uh, each project. What do you mean by each project?
About, let's say, if we grow 20 hectares, that's going to be one reservoir. But if we grow 200 hectares, maybe it's going to be more convenient to have multiple reservoirs. Because of the recycling of water, it's going to be located depending on where is the site. So that's what I meant on each project, at least on water recycling.
So you're looking at 20 hectare units. Yeah.
As a model, yes, I believe that could be cost effective regarding number of plants, number of kilos per week harvested, and being able to have a cycle of competent cost per kilo harvested, shipped, sold, and income per week. That's a good formula. I can show in the document as well what I'm thinking about.
Mm-hmm. You're you think that the appropriate scale would be to go up to perhaps around 200 before you start saturating markets?
No, I mean, if tomorrow I go into 1,000 hectares, it wouldn't saturate the market of January, February, March.
And when you say January, February, March, national or international?
United States market, which is my focus and the company I'm working with.
Uh-huh. So these ones, because before I asked you for national, you said it's mostly national market.
On
You
United
said
States, for me, it's exporting, national market of United States. That's where the fruit is consumed and sold.
how much of it is consumed in Mexico?
Zero, the one I eat,
People don't eat blueberries.
they do, but on that specific
It's premium,
weeks of the year, the price is very different if we put it in the United States or we leave it in Mexico.
so you got to go where the cash is.
Well, yes, that's the point of the business, supplying United States when they don't have,
Yeah.
and both make a great business.
Do you have any activity going on for like national, I mean, Mexico markets? Like, is there a case for you to do that too, or not really?
Not really, not what I want to do, because the jumbos market with these specific varieties that are bigger, sweeter, and crunchier, it's in the United States. If we try to put that into Mexico, there is a market, of course, but not the volume that we want to achieve as a supplier and my partners as a commercial partner as well. They have a market already that are waiting for those specific blueberries at that specific time.
Yeah, $4 a kilo. And this, are we talking about stuff that we see at Walmart and things like that, or what markets are these? I mean, this is just.
Sprouts, Costco,
Hmm.
Sam's, some of those had been on Airborne. the supermarket of California that is very expensive and
Mm-hmm.
modern. The jumbo ones
Mm-hmm.
that are in those type of markets.
Not Walmart.
Sam's, yes, I
Sam's.
seen the company. Walmart, with the company I'm working with, I haven't seen.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Yeah. All right.
That's
So.
the hope, and that's why I'm here. If I'm able to change this, it's going to impact a lot my life and the farming community as well. At least with the water management system, be able to open source it and have it more cost effective and accessible.
Mm-hmm.
It's something we really need. And when I say we, I, but also the farmers I talk with from Mexico, from the US, from Peru, it's the same issue for us. How accessible is it?
Do the U.S. guys also try to produce the same high bush, southern high bush varieties too, but at a different time?
Correct. So it's the same genetics. The ones I'm using, some of those are from Georgia, some of those are from Australia,
Mm-hmm.
but the IP is from the US. And they own it from there and they share it from the world, but just if they want. So
Mm-hmm.
the market is controlled by US, at least the regions where to produce it, where to sell it. It's a US market, a US business, sorry. The genetics part and the commercial part. Even if we're producing in Mexico and Peru, most of the farms have some reference or ownership of the US. In my case, they are my own farms, but the guys I'm partnering with, they are from California and they have the market in the US. And they also have farms in Peru, in Mexico, and they're going to start doing outsourcing with third party farmers like me to grow their genetics for their specific markets. Since they have a premium market where they put the big fruit in a pack and they have customers that pay more for this,
Mm-hmm.
in my case, I want to be part of their supply chain, not compete with them. That's why I'm focusing on specific harvesting windows, specific cultivars that already have a market,
Mm-hmm.
even if they are IP. These people have worked for years to make the supply chain work at specific prices, at specific markets, and I wish to be a supporter of their supply chain in the United States. That's
Mm-hmm.
the approach I'm taking here.
Yeah.
Instead of breaking the market and getting a lot of fruit supply that nobody's gonna really consume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The partners in the U.S. They're just other growers. Or are you talking to the partners who have the genetics guys, the guys who have the genetics?
The company I'm working with, they're growers. They own the genetics, at least for United States. Well, for all North America and South America. I'm talking United States, Canada, Mexico,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of South America,
Mm-hmm.
Peru, Chile, mainly, and all of those sections. If you want to grow their genetics, which for me are the top of the world, you gotta sell with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's the approach they manage, but they support the whole supply chain. As I told you, I'm gonna be until the harvest, and then I'm gonna send the fruit, the raw fruit, and they're gonna take it from there. The part of the selection, the packing, the cooling part, and also the exports. And I could do that, but making economics, I don't have the market so positioned that I can sell the amount of fruit of volume at the amount of price. So at the end, it's better for me in economics to be of their supply chain because they have good genetics, good packing plants,
Yeah.
good markets to sell with, and good price to pay to the farmer than me trying to make everything from zero and start competing with
Mm-hmm.
already structured supply chains. That's
Mm-hmm.
my approach, and that gives me more money than making everything from zero.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does the one that you're growing, does that grow in Missouri as well?
Not that I have heard as of now. They are mainly focused on United States. They're called family tree farms. You can look for them on the website,
Yeah.
or I have it on the document as well. It's a family of growers and they have evolved over time and specialize in proprietary fruit because of the flavor. At the end, what you take the blueberry, this kind of blueberry, the flavor, the texture, and the whole experience, it's very different to conventional ones, and that's what sells the people at better prices, but better quality of the experience and the flavor that you get.
Do you know, would that survive here in Missouri, or that not the right weather?
I would need to see the climate that you have, but there are different kind of varieties. So the one I'm working with, Southern High Bush, that doesn't need any chill hours. But there are other one called Northern High Bush, as an example, that they thrive with 800 hours of cold, and they go dormant when they need to. So there are different structures of blueberry cultivars, from the ones that can thrive on places where it's frozen for a few months of the year, to places like me that don't have many chill hours. I never get a froze. I mean, the
Yeah.
least I get is 5 Celsius. So, of course, I believe in Missouri would be finding the right type of blueberry cultivar, finding the right time to make it harvest based on your winters and all that weather structures.
Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. That sounds good. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. So let's yeah. So what are our next steps here? So let's get a handle on the per plant costs, and then maybe next time, what do we do? We can let's think about maybe for next time strategies of how to actually implement it, and maybe how do we well, for each of the steps from reverse osmosis to pots and bases, um, and recycling. Let's start talking about solutions. Yeah. So we'll start brainstorming on that, on what are potential solutions for doing that, how to implement those things. Um, what's to be said about digging the ponds and everything else? That's something that you feel confident that locally you get that dug, or is there any cost savings that you're looking at to get from there, or
Looking at the cost of the machinery that you've been promoting on OSC,
mm-hmm.
that would reduce very much the cost of the artworks, because now I can rent and I can pay and I can have some structure done. That's true. But
Okay.
if I have my own machinery and I can just hire the driver to make the work,
Mm-hmm.
or if there's some advancement on RTK and it's able to do it by itself,
Yeah. Oh, how
there's a
about
big
that?
savings there. Yeah.
All right. Free
Yeah.
ponds. Free ponds automatically dug by RTK GPS machines. Yeah, that could be very interesting. I'd love that too. I mean, water is, lakes. That's a big deal. Making your own lake. We'd like. I mean, whatever land we got, we need to do some lakes, just some little ponds and things here too. So yeah, we can take a look at that. What are your machine rental costs like? For example, to do say an acre pond, half a hectare acre pond. How much would that cost you there?
I will put it in the document as well. I will look at how much it cost, what we did on the reservoir, and also on the leveling I just did for the validation center, and I will put you by meter how much it cost. As of now, I don't remember it exact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, okay, and the pond, the other pond you have, that's got a liner in it, right? Like something like reinforced polyethylene, RPE.
Correct. That's it.
Mm-hmm. 30 mil,
It's liner.
40 mil, or what's the thickness of that?
I think so. It's 40,
40. Yeah.
but I'll send it on the document, the specific material that it was placed,
Uh huh.
so we have a clear idea on what they're doing now. It doesn't mean that it's the best solution. It's just a way to reference and compare to what we're doing now and the cost.
Okay. So let's get a if we get down to the per plant cost, and that includes water, including the pond. Like, let's say, okay, it costs 5 cents for the pond, or 5 cents of reverse osmosis. Let's get all those numbers on things, so then we can scale it. Okay, here's an acre, here's 20 acres, and things like that. Yeah. Okay, so for next time, let's get all those prices per more like on the plant level, so we can scale it to 5,000 per acre. Is 5,000 a typical number, or is that?
That's typical number for
Mm-hmm.
machine harvesting. But if you go to places like Peru, where they do manual labor,
Mm-hmm.
they've been able to put about 10,000 plants per hectare. So
Mm-hmm.
it depends on the structure that you want to make at the time of harvesting.
And what? How much importance do you attribute to the machine harvester versus using labor?
On my specific project, I would say very much. Why? Because being able to get the people is one challenge. Challenge number two is being able to keep the people because sometimes of the season you have a lot of fruit and everyone
Yeah.
is happy. They're harvesting a lot of fruit, you're paying them enough. But when the plant starts getting few fruit at the end of the season, that's when people start leaving and start looking for other fields. So that's the big challenge. The
Yeah.
labor that we have available, yeah, there's labor, but there's not the interest of being the whole season there. So that's where it starts getting tricky. We start losing fruit, and that's when where one of the costs starts getting higher than it was supposed to be per kilogram. What
Yeah.
that's one thing, and the other, if we compare the machinery and we compare the labor cost, we're talking a structure of about 80% less doing it with machinery. You just need 5 persons instead of having to scale the number of persons based on the number of hectares of production. As an example, last week I was in Peru. They have on one of the fields I went 600 hectares, and daily they have about 3,000 people. So now
3,000 people.
think your energy
Holy
resources
cow.
of checking each people, giving them lunch, being there if something happens to them humanly on their health, then you have to pay all those resources to the taxes that they don't even get. And if you do it machinery, maybe 5% is going to be lost because it has an about 95% of fruit that goes to fresh. But that 5% doesn't even represent the cost of having
Yeah.
people staying there, feeding them, paying an insurance for each of them, and
Right.
also the productivity and the cost is not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that would be. How much? Do you know how much of one of those blueberry pickers costs right now? It's like 100K or 200. I would guess 200K.
Oh, no, yeah, it's 120K, but the one that can be towed on the tractor.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a self-propelled, it goes about 200.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
think it's bad. If you do the conversion of having 80% less of the cost with the machinery, with 5 hectares of production, or we go about 200,000 kilos, the difference of cost, machinery versus labor, on single season, you can do the recovery of investment.
That sounds like a big priority, doesn't it? Then
Yes, water and harvesting.
water and harvesting.
Yeah, I think I saw on your also wiki some ideas of doing drone harvesting, which I found very interesting.
Ah.
But if there's a solution now, maybe the focus should be getting that solution to action. That's my way of viewing.
Well, I wouldn't do drone. I mean, you mean aerial drones?
That's what I understood in the
Yeah.
wiki.
No, terrestrial would be much easier. Man, if we knock out the, with the tractor thing, with the RTK GPS tractor, then you do all this automated even. I mean, yeah, yeah,
I believe the same.
yeah.
I will
Because
work
I
on.
mean, for the
Yes.
village, for the village economy, what you need is things that, I want to have, like, for example, I'm interested in blueberries. We grew them before. We have a lot of different fruits, but we don't manage it a lot. But if we have robots managing that for us, we can program that. That's collaboration. That's great for for a village infrastructure. You can have basically integrated design where like you're doing production, market production. I'm thinking more like, well, here's your village, your 10,000 person city. Well, we're feeding the local areas and stuff like that. I think more like that,
Mhm.
along those lines, because for us it's more about relocalization everywhere, right? So yeah, but yeah, the terrestrial drones, if we can knock the RTK GPS, yeah, let's throw a bit of energy behind that, and that way you have your pond digging, you've got your harvesting, you've got your tractors and stuff. So yeah, we can definitely take a look at that. For us, the blueberry harvesters are similar to um, to hazelnut harvesters, so that's quite relevant as well. Yeah. Have you looked into? Do they have ones with fingers that pick the blueberries versus wind? Have you seen the two different types? Because I think there's
Uh,
ones that have like the rotating fingers that knock things off.
I have never seen that one. I know the one I sent.
Uh huh.
They are based on like
Air.
fingers figure, but it's air. It's
It's
not
air.
the specific touch of the machinery.
Yep. Yep. Okay. I'm just wondering if that was present because I know I saw one that had the fingers. There was
I, s-
one collaboration. The guy who does the nuts, the hazelnuts. He had one access to one that had the fingers, and he was collecting the nuts with that type of machine. But
Interesting and open to it. I'm just showing you what's already commercial and it's working with fresh blueberry because that's a big difference. Fresh blueberry versus blueberry that goes to industry. The price and the quality structure of the harvested blueberry is very different.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
More sensitive. That's why the air is working really fine.
Okay,
But
sounds.
open.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so for next time, let's start looking at. Let's get the costs knocked down in priority order, so we're very clear about the financial models, the financial goals we're trying to solve for, because that will determine like what's feasible. Yeah, I mean that will
Yes.
determine the feasibility so of all of that. So yeah, and then we can
Okay.
pick one or few things that you know are the lowest hanging fruit. No pun intended.
Yeah, yeah. Great. So I'll work on this week and I'll
Yeah.
send it back to you on the file that can be shared and edited by both.
Yep.
I have one last question. I'm trying to make everything open source now, and I'm changing the systems I'm using.
Mm.
I currently have my Linux computer with the OSC 3
Mm-hmm.
and my computer and an iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to focus everything on open source, does it make sense even on the, how can I call this? Should I use a Gmail or should I try to stay on Thunderbird and try to host my own email? Where does it make sense to make everything open or not, on your perspective?
When I don't understand the question, you mean like Gmail versus Mac? Like,
Well, Gmail versus open hosting in your own computer, your
oh,
own domain. When it's too much and when it's makes
yeah. I
sense
mean,
to open source.
once we have more people than we have now, I mean, we don't have enough people right now to open source all the internet infrastructure. I think Wiki is good, but just use that. Yeah, I mean, as the movement grows, we can do more of that, but we can use off-the-shelf solutions for other things like Gmail and other things.
That's your main workspace. What you do?
Yeah, like we have a lot of we're highly dependent on like Google Drive with docs and image like picture folders. It's very convenient to do that. Now in
Yes.
a yeah, so eventually we might migrate out of that. We're always very careful about lock-in, but all that stuff is portable right now, so we can create our own instances once we have enough energy to do that. So I don't think that time is right now. I think we're okay right now.
Okay, I just wanted to ask because
Yeah.
I'm focusing on from now starting from the most open source possible and create zero marginal cost. But there are some places that make sense and that don't, such as the workspace now.
Yeah, I think um, yeah, that's exactly right. But remember that Wikipedia Media Wiki, which we do use, that's critical. There's FreeCAD. I mean OSC Linux. It's just pay attention to that. Whatever software you're using, if that's easy, just use the open version, right? But if it's a software as a service thing, I mean, there is nothing that compares to the cloud editable Google Docs right now. You know, that's for example, that's one example. Last time I looked, the open source solutions for that were just not there. You know, so
And last question about the browser. I see that you use Chromium instead of Chrome or Firefox. Is there a reason for that?
Chromium. Well, I think Chromium is the more the Linux version of Chrome, right? I think that's what it
Yes,
is. Yeah. But
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 doesn't
what
have any benefit.
I actually don't know. I mean, I think because it's more native to Linux, it might be more secure. I'm not sure. My impression was it was more secure, but I haven't seen any. I don't have any experience to make a proper judgment at this time. I would have to look that up.
It shouldn't be a big deal now if I use Chrome, Chromium, or Firefox.
No, no.
Oh,
And then I also noticed that the time log, which actually I want to ask you, whenever you're working on this, I'll send you a link to the time log. Like, let me share my screen. You must have seen my screen. Like, for example, well, MJ. Here, let's say, like my timesheet, like which I haven't filled lately, but this kind of thing where we're logging hours. So you say like whatever the date is, hours. And I haven't updated mine from some time, but we're basically tracking the burn down to the next economy, so to say.
mhm.
The amount of hours that all the contributors are contributing to the Global Village Construction Set, we're actually keeping track of that from about 10 years ago. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you do your like whenever you're putting open information working on OSC related work, put your hours in there. And the Blueberry stuff, like whenever we're open sourcing, whether it's the reverse osmosis or whatever, the production system, that counts. Just anything that you make open to the world counts as that. Hmm. In the apprenticeship
Got
and all
it.
that. Hmm.
I did my account on MetaWiki, but I couldn't do it on OSC directly. I just applied a few hours ago. Is that a different process than MetaWiki?
On OSC, you're talking about login to the Media Wiki.
Yes. Do I need to log or not? Not exactly.
Okay, I need to. You should be able to when you go. What happens when you go to the upper right and it says create account? You created an account,
I applied for an account.
and
Yes.
then did you get an email back that you can log
I,
in?
I did a confirmation email, but I haven't got an email back to be able to log in.
Can you send me the last thing that you got back that you're not able to log in? Forward that to me. I thought we had this all working. I got to check in on that.
Yes, I'll send it
Just
to
forward me
your
that.
to your email.
So you got a confirmation email, but you can't log in?
Correct. I just sent it
Okay.
this second.
Okay. I'll take a look at that, whatever we got there. Yeah. And so how about we do so Tuesday at 6 p.m., that works for you? We can have a
Very
conversation like
much.
this? Yeah, let's do
And
it. Let's keep knocking it out. We'll get designing on other thing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So we'll take it week by week and hopefully we create value, huge value for the world. Hmm.
very much.
Hmm.
So I'll work on all the details per kilogram per plant and put in priorities the cost of capex, and we can start defining from there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. As soon as you have it, email that to me and just let me know so I'm aware that you've done it. I can take a look at it. Hmm.
I'll do for sure.
Okay. All right, man. We'll see
Thank you
you.
very much.
Okay.
I'll see
Take
you
care.
soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
See you on Tuesday. Bye bye.